Welcome to your 4 to 5. I'm Maddie Gardner here with Dehaisha Moise and Tim Buckley this afternoon. Of course, this is an interactive show, so join our live streams where we chat to you. Obviously, a very somber day here and across the country. It has been 19 years since the September 11th attacks. Across the Triad and the state, people held ceremonies to remember the lives lost.
Governor Cooper honored the memory of 9/11 victims today. He attended a ceremony with the state National Guard. The governor then gave a speech thanking the military members for their service. He says lessons of service and sacrifice are as strong across the nation today as they were during the tragedy. A special ceremony was also held today at Eastern Randolph High School for an alum killed in the attacks. The school honored the life of Sandy Bradshaw and all other victims. A remembrance ceremony is held each year for Bradshaw, who was a flight attendant from Greensboro. She was killed on Flight 93 trying to stop terrorists who hijacked her plane. The ceremony was small this year because of the pandemic. Bradshaw's parents were in attendance.
In New York, the families of victims held memorials. One event was at the World Trade Center's September 11th Memorial Plaza, and another happened at a separate 9/11 organization. Of course, the ceremonies look different this year because of the coronavirus. Vice President Mike Pence read Bible verses today at Ground Zero and the Tunnel to the Towers Foundation ceremony. Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden attended an event at the 9/11 Memorial in New York as well. He then paid his respects at the Flight 93 National Memorial in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. That is also where President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump spent their morning. The president spoke at the Flight 93 Memorial. The couple also participated in a wreath-laying ceremony. This is the second time the president has been part of the ceremony in Pennsylvania. It is a day that is difficult to forget. No matter where you were or what you were doing, everyone remembers that tragic day. So we ask you to share your memories with us, and Brian Bennett is taking a look at some of the stories that you've shared with us today. Hey, Brian.
Hey, how you doing, Maddie? Yeah, definitely a sad day for all Americans as we remember 9/11. I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to get right into your comments right now. We're going to start off with Sandy. She says, I remember it was the most beautiful morning. Got to work, turned on the TV, and my assistant Kim and I never stopped watching TV that day. I am always sad on this day. Bev says, working at the hospital. She was working at the hospital, went room to room and watched it with my patients. Many tears that day from all of us. Tammy says, I had just graduated high school in May, and I remember turning on the TV just in time to see the second plane hit. Paula says, I was watching Clifford the Big Red Dog with my little one, and we both were clueless until later that evening. Jennifer here says, I was at work, heard about it through customers coming through the drive-thru and watched the Pentagon get hit on my break. And Miss Fleet says, I was standing in my classroom passing out stat to my kinders. Saddest day ever. RIP to all those who lost their lives that horrible day. We have so many more comments, but we can't get to them all. I just remember I was in the 8th grade. We had just went to the library and came back. It was in Mr. Christmas' room. And we turned on the TV, and everybody thought it was just a movie or something like that. We really couldn't believe it. And a lot of students actually called for their parents to actually pick them up that day. So it was really a sad day. And that's what I remember.
Yes, thanks to everyone who shared their memories. It's hard to think about, and our thoughts and prayers go out with the families who still miss their loved ones on this anniversary every year. I mean, it's hard to forget where you were and what you were doing.
Yeah, I think everybody does, even if, like Brian said, you were younger. I know most of us here were in grade school at the time, or high school for me. I was in band class, we were just continuing as normal, playing our instruments and stuff like that. And then when we went out to the rest of the school, I guess everyone else knew and we didn't. So we had that weird kind of moment of figuring that out. And then the rest of the day was just a blur,
Yeah, it was definitely a somber mood at school. I mean, growing up in New England there, we had just finished our Bible class at my school, and our teacher said, guys, hey, I have to tell you something, told us, and then actually wheeled in a TV so we could watch the news broadcast together And that was kind of like my introduction to what can really happen in the world, you know, because sometimes you're young and you don't really understand what's happening and you're looking at these images. But, you know, my heart, of course, just goes out to everyone who lost loved ones.
Yes, I remember our teachers put our school on lockdown that day. I don't think anyone knew what to expect, what was going to come next.
Right.
And it's just that gut-wrenching feeling of the unexpected. And parents were coming to get their kids as well. It was a little bit chaotic, but yes, definitely the somber mood that everyone else is speaking of.
Sure, and you know, thousands of people lost their lives, but every person knows hundreds of people, maybe 1,000 people. So there are hundreds of thousands of people that lost loved ones, and then you go after that. You know, we've been fighting wars after 9/11. As a result, there have been several thousand troops protecting us that have lost their lives too. So a lot of things to remember today and be thankful for.
Absolutely. All right, this weather, what's going on?
Yeah, no way to transition to that. We are going to do it here. As we talk about your weather forecast, we're looking really at tomorrow being a cooler day than today. Today, though, you look at the sky, it's actually quite beautiful at the moment. Partly cloudy skies, very hot though. Heat and humidity kind of the trend. If we look at our temperature, 86 degrees, the dew point is 73. So this is kind of that air you can wear. It's a summertime day. And these days, by the way, they're kind of numbered as we go forward in time. Still close to 90. I'm not sure if we get 90 degrees the rest of the month or even the rest of the year. Here are your temperatures. You can see full on your screen now. Mid to upper 80s at the moment across the triad. Dew points, this is the bad part. We have that humidity that is really just about as much as it gets, especially this time of year. So very sticky air at the moment. That is causing it to feel like it is in the mid 90s, the heat index as we call it, making your body feel hotter than the temperature. There are a couple of small showers, but they're kind of random and very short-lived. They're drifting ever so slowly to the south. So a little bit ago we had some downpours in Mount Airy. Now they are gone. That's kind of the trend that will follow through this afternoon. Have the rain gear handy, but you're unlikely to get rain for longer than 20 or 30 minutes. Through tonight, going down to the 70s. That's it for your lows. And tomorrow, a very different day of weather. It's pretty cloudy. There will be some drizzle and rain at times, and it's cooler with highs only in the 70s.
Let's turn now to your 4 to 5 roundup. The wildfire burning in Northern California right now is the deadliest fire of the year. 10 people have died, and that death toll could be higher as crews continue to look for 16 people who are unaccounted for. Meanwhile, the fires in Northwest Oregon are growing. Authorities say 500,000 people, now mind you, that's more than 10% of Oregon's population, have been forced to evacuate. In Washington state, 937 square miles of land is now scorched. The Senate failed to pass a slimmed-down coronavirus relief bill. Republicans and Democrats are still at odds on what should be included. The legislation, proposed by Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, would have extended the additional unemployment benefits, meaning an extra $300 a week. It would have also poured money into the small business lending program. That bill carried a price tag of roughly $500 billion. In the meantime, there is extra money being released to unemployment from FEMA as part of President Donald Trump's executive order. When he passed that order back in August, it was only slated for 3 weeks, but it's now been extended to 6. To qualify, you had to have been receiving unemployment benefits from August 1st through September 5th, and states had to apply for this additional money. North Carolina has applied. Well, how would you like to watch a drive-in movie at PTI Airport? Yeah, they posted on Twitter this week asking for votes on what movie you would like to see. The choices include Up, The Incredibles 2, Toy Story 4, Shrek, the original Ghostbusters, and Won't You Be My Neighbor? We are expecting to learn more about when that event could happen and what movie you could watch next Friday. Stick around, more of the 4 to 5 is coming up right after this break. Remember, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We'll see you there.
It's true, there are many joys in life, but very few compare, if at all, to becoming a parent for the very first time. Our very own Brian Bennett details his journey on becoming a proud dad right smack dab in the middle of a pandemic.
Being a first-time dad is very rewarding.
Hey, mama. Hey, mama.
But at the same time, it's very exhausting. The day my daughter was born, I had just been cleared from the 4 to 5 show, and an hour later, I was a proud papa in a pandemic. I held her all night long, and thank God for my wife, because the next day I was, out of commission. Due to COVID, I also got to organize my daughter's very first photo shoot. Say cheese. So, being a first-time father is tough, but it's worth every moment, every diaper change, all just to see that beautiful smile.
Yeah, guys, that's my little Bree right there.
She is absolutely perfect, Brian. Thank you so much for sharing her with us and with our 4 to 5 crew, because on the first day of the 4 to 5, I know some of y'all remember this, he just up and surprised us by saying that he was expecting a little one.
Yep, definitely. I do remember that,
oh, by
actually.
the way.
Just like casually slid that in there.
Yeah, I mean,
But
and
that's
guys,
just
she
like
does
Brian.
yeah, I mean, it's like new stuff every single day, right? Like now she does this thing where she knows when she's gonna get put to sleep, because I turn on the white noise and, you know, maybe turn the blinds down a little bit, and then she just starts singing and cooing like out of her mind, and then after 5 minutes she's just like, ugh. So yeah.
But I think that's the way to do it, right? You want to have a routine so that they know when you start doing those things, hey, it's time for me to leave mom and dad alone for a little bit and get some rest.
Well, she is absolutely adorable. We can't wait to see more of your fatherhood adventures, Brian. By the way, we are live streaming right now on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You know the deal. Use our hashtag 4 to 5 and join our Friday conversation. We'll see you there. Welcome back to your 4 to 5. Wake Forest student athletes are back on the field this fall, practicing and playing during the pandemic. But there's another issue that they're facing and fighting for: social justice. I spoke with the athletic director earlier today.
And why was it important for you and the athletic department not only to allow the fight for social justice on athletic fields, but to encourage it?
Well, we serve our students and we serve our student athletes, and we learn from our students and our student athletes, and at the same time, expressing oneself and learning about the challenges of our community, preparing students to be in a pluralistic society is really important. Learning happens in the athletics program just like it happens across our campus. And
so what will student athletes be doing to express that passion for social justice this fall sports season?
Well, we've had lots of things happen throughout the summer, and even last year. We had Kyle Korver speak on campus about white privilege back in January at Wake Chapel, a very dynamic address that President Hatch helped make possible. Our student athletes have done things that put words into action. We had a voter registration drive earlier for student athletes that went very well. Our student athletes are promoting the unity symbol that the ACC core group, racial equity group, developed. Both of our basketball teams have shooting shirts, pregame warm-up shirts designed by members of those teams. Our football team will have Black Lives Matter.
And I've seen you standing right next to student athletes. You were just at the Winston for Peace rally. What made you decide to stand alongside them for this?
Well, again, I'm here to serve our student athletes and serve the students of the university and all our constituents. And we've also been intentional about providing lots of different viewpoints. We try to present a good dialogue and operate in a constructive way to amplify the need for change, but also engage people in discussion that maybe enables them to see things that they wouldn't have seen otherwise. And when I go to a demonstration like that one, not everything that is said is automatically something that I have thought about or necessarily always agree with. But it's really important for me to understand different perspectives, and that's what makes our country great.
It's been 19 years since nearly 3,000 lives were lost in the 9/11 terrorist attacks. It was a tragic day shaping American history and a day so many will never forget. WFMY News 2 photojournalist Manning Frank spoke with some people who remember exactly where they were and what they were doing when they heard the devastating news.
The victims were in airplanes or in their offices. Secretaries, businessmen and women, military and federal workers, moms and dads, friends and neighbors.
That morning in 4th grade, I was in Miss Stiles' class, and all of a sudden, my name came over the intercom saying, Jessica for checkout. I'm going, well, that ain't right, because it wasn't even 9 o'clock yet.
It was just a regular day at work. I worked in a pharmacy, a long-term care pharmacy, which is a few exits from NSA. Everyone was running crazy around the pharmacy. We didn't know what was happening.
I was homeschooled at the time with my twin brother, and our mom was our teacher. She received a phone call at the time from a good friend of hers saying that there was an attack and planes were flown into the Twin Towers.
I was in the Army and we were doing an exercise. I was in Germany, and my commander had to go in to garrison. He went in and I got a call. He said, Frank, First Sergeant, get everybody back here right away. I said, so I'll pack no, don't pack everything up. Just grab all the weapons and all the soldiers and get back here right away.
I make it up to the office and I see my dad there, and then they had the TV going and I saw the second plane hit the South Tower.
So when we turned the TV on, that was the moment when the first tower came down.
I kind of feel like I was just numb.
A moment at 13 when you're starting to peel back a lot of your innocence from your youth, that was probably one of the biggest moments where good world mentality was a little squashed a bit.
Regardless of what we go through in this country, we are all Americans.
The German community, as they were driving by some of the guard stations, they were just telling us how sorry they were and how they were praying for us.
We were all one nation. And for me, that's what I try thinking about when it comes to 9/11, is just remembering the unity we had and how much I wish for that to come back.
Good night, and God bless America.
Yeah, I think that piece speaks for itself, Tahisha, but echoing what that woman said at the end, just praying for the unity to come back and how united everyone was in the weeks and months following 9/11 and the patriotism that we saw in this country. It would be amazing to see people unite like that again.
Yeah, especially in a time of so much division, right, that we've experienced over the last few months, and it's kind of taking us back to such a dark place. But in the darkness, we found this light within each other to be able to lift each other up in such a tough time. So for that, I am grateful for that. And again, I mean, I just look at those images and you kind of get goosebumps, and it just takes you right back to that day.
Right, it's something that you never get tired or doesn't lose the effectiveness of seeing those images and seeing that video from 19 years ago.
Coming up closer to the weekend, want to get you up to speed on weather for this evening and especially the next couple of days. Right now, there are some showers. They're all very small across the Piedmont, just kind of popcorn downpours at the moment. So you might see a shower as we go into this evening, but it will be short-lived, only about 20 or 30 minutes at the most. We still have this muggy weather pattern here across the southeast that's not really budging just yet. There will be a change for tomorrow, though. What I expect is a cold front to our north to kind of slide southward. We'll still be very muggy tomorrow, but we'll have cooler temperatures. Temperatures only in the 70s, thanks in part to cloud cover and drizzle in the morning. Not much sun on Saturday. There's a better chance of seeing that sunshine on Sunday afternoon as we get back into the 80s. And then this front there, that is going to slide our way by Tuesday. And when it does, we finally get back into the fall air weather pattern that we enjoyed for Labor Day weekend. The humidity really dropping like a rock for Tuesday. I want to leave you with a 7-day forecast. Here's how your weekend weekend is shaping out. 75 for tomorrow. That's because of the clouds and drizzle that we will see. Warm and muggy again for Sunday and Monday, with fall air returning starting next Tuesday. That's your forecast. We're back after this.
Hey, mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mic check. Hi, mic check, 1, 2, 3, mic check, 1, 2, 3. An exciting time for Wake Forest and its...
Hello, mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Hi, mic check for Maddie on Friday afternoon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Hello, this is your mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5 on this Friday afternoon. I'm Maddie Gardner, joined by Tahisha Moise at home and Tim Buckley in studio today. Thanks for being here again with us.
Sure thing. Always happy to fill in Eric's shoes. I can never replace Eric, but whenever he's gone, I'm happy to be here.
Well, of course, this is an interactive show. We like to chat with you on our live streams. We call it a two-way street. You know, we're usually just talking at you, but we want you to chat back with us. So join the conversation on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Well, let's start off here with your 4 to 5 roundup. Today, flags at both the White House and the U.S. Capitol building are being flown at half-staff. It is to remember the thousands of lives lost in the terrorist attacks that happened 19 years ago today on September 11th. The Pentagon also remembered the attacks by unfurling an American flag. A special ceremony was held there this morning. Defense Secretary Mark Esper honored the heroic and courageous acts that took place there. Guilford County Schools is adding 10 more learning centers across the district for students who do not have internet access at home. Those centers will open up on Thursday morning, and they will be open weekdays during remote learning hours from 9 until 1. Students are being asked to bring their own devices. Breakfast and lunch will be served, but space is limited, so parents need to sign your student up in advance. We have a list of those new locations up on our website. Today, a bill was introduced in Washington to rename the Air Traffic Control Tower at PTI after the late Senator Kay Hagan. Representatives Ted Budd and David Price introduced the legislation. Hagan pushed for federal funding to build the new tower, and last year she was at the tower's groundbreaking. Hagan passed away in her Greensboro home after a 3-year battle with encephalitis. She was 66 years old. 2 virtual music festivals are kicking off here in the Triad today, the North Carolina Folk Festival and the Carolina Blues Festival. Now, both had to switch to virtual because of the pandemic. There will be 3 concerts, all virtual, 2 hours long over the next 3 nights. They'll be posted on the Folk Festival's YouTube page at 6 o'clock. You can watch them also on the Greensboro Television Network.
Open Streets in Greensboro is happening again this weekend and will run now through October 3rd. Now, downtown Greensboro Incorporated President Zach Matheny says it's been super successful so far this year. It starts Friday, that's today, at 6 and ends and will begin again Saturday at noon. Elm Street from Market to Lewis will be closed to allow businesses to move to the streets. And Downtown Restaurant Week in Greensboro returns starting Monday. Chow Downtown includes specials for food and drinks. Takeout options will be available for restaurants not offering dine-in service right now. You can visit Downtown Greensboro's website for a list of specials and participating restaurants. Internet hubs are opening for Guilford County students in need of internet access. The hubs open this Saturday and next Saturday. These internet hubs are in addition to the 23 learning centers that students can go to during the week. Hubs are open from 9 till noon, and they'll allow up to 30 visitors at a time, including both parents and students. Parents must be with kindergarten through 5th grade students, and keep this in mind, classes won't be taught. The hubs are just offering internet access so students can complete their work. A list of hub locations can be found on our website.
Of course, it is a Friday afternoon. Got to get you ready for your evening and your weekend plans, whatever they may be, across the Triad. So right now, let's take a look over downtown Greensboro. You'll see a good amount of sky. Right now, partly cloudy for the most part. Temperature pretty tough, 86 degrees. So a lot of heat, a good amount of humidity as well. That dew point temperature, 73. Oof, that is the air you can wear. Similar story in Burlington right now. It's actually close to 90 degrees at the moment. Here, look at your temperatures from different neighborhoods. Some areas just a little cooler if you were lucky enough to get a tiny shower, but most of us had stayed pretty dry. Dew points are off the charts. This is summertime humidity. The tropical air is still here, so it is feeling hotter than that. This is temporary though. I want to show you what's going to happen as we go into tonight and tomorrow. There is a little bit of cooler air moving in from the north. So as we wake up tomorrow morning, we are socked in with cloud cover and possibly some light rain showers or drizzle from time to time. So Saturday starting out gray and possibly a little wet or soggy, and temperatures are not going to move much tomorrow. I expect them to be stuck for the most part in the low 70s early on, only warming into the mid 70s. So the weekend forecast pretty cool and cloudy for tomorrow and possibly a little damp as well. Sunday back to where we are today, mid 80s, warmer, still humid. A stray storm is possible, but I don't think it's all that wet there. Similar story for Monday. The cool, crisp weather where you can kind of sit outside in the morning. How about that 59-degree low? That's coming up on Wednesday of next week. We will have several days of pleasant weather moving in on Tuesday.
Exciting stuff happening here. The Wake Forest Demon Deacons just 1 day away from their season opener. Wake Forest will host the #1 team in the country, Clemson, tomorrow night, and ESPN's College Game Day is in town for the big event. The show kicks off tomorrow morning at 9. But before tomorrow, we have WFMY News 2's Amanda Ferguson, who is live in Winston-Salem.
An exciting time for Wake Forest and its fans. The season starting tomorrow night. Plus, ESPN's College Game Day is coming to town for the first time in school history. And we also welcome back West Forsyth alum KJ Henry, a defensive back for the Clemson Tigers. Now, the last time the Tigers came here to Winston-Salem, it wasn't a pretty sight. The Deacs lost by 60 points. They didn't score a touchdown, and Henry helped prevent that with 4 tackles in that game. It was his first year playing against the Deacs, and it also was quarterback Sam Hartman's first season with the Deacs. He says he's ready to face the Tigers this time around.
It's exciting. You love to get a shot at the #1 team in the country, and having them come here and be on prime time and whatnot is very exciting. And I think we just got to play our game and just win some one-on-ones here and there. It's all across the board, offense and defense. We've just been doing a really good job, and really shout out to our coaches for putting in a lot of extra time and doing double practices and having to keep us separate sometimes on and off the field. I think it's just a testament to how much they love us and they want to win.
Coming up on WFMY News 2 at 5, we're talking to ESPN's College Game Days, Reese Davis, and about coming here to Winston-Salem.
All right, Amanda, thank you. Now, there is a way to watch College Game Day in a safe way. There's going to be a drive-in experience tomorrow at the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds. The show will be played there on the movie screen. Up to 350 cars are allowed on the fairgrounds across from Truist Field, and they will be parked 8 feet apart from each other. Concessions will be available for purchase, and you can reserve your spot by going to godeeks.com/drive-in. Gates open at 7 in the morning, and the show starts at 9. We'll be right back.
Get pumped for the Carolina Panthers to play, and you can watch that game right here on WFMY News 2, your official home station for the Carolina Panthers. So WFMY News 2's photojournalist Sean Higgins gives us a preview of Sunday's game in the Queen City.
When the Panthers host the Raiders on Sunday, it will be our first look at the new schemes brought over by Coach Matt Rhule and his staff. The lack of a preseason means we still don't know what the offense and the defense are going to look like, and that's something Coach Rhule sees as a competitive advantage. And while this is the first year the Raiders are in Las Vegas, it is their third year under head coach John Gruden. Their offense is a balanced attack that makes few mistakes. Last season, they were 5th in sacks allowed, and they gave up the 5th fewest turnovers. This offseason, Las Vegas spent a ton of money to beef up a defense that performed poorly against the pass. Last season, they were ranked 30th in yards allowed per pass attempt. The Raiders' efficient offense will be a good litmus test for a young Panthers defense that will likely start 3 rookies on Sunday. As for the offense, I'm excited to see how new offensive coordinator Joe Brady uses Christian McCaffrey against a Raiders defense that allowed less than 4 yards per carry last season. The Panthers face the 6th toughest schedule this season, but this game is certainly up for grabs, and a win in Week 1 would be a great start to the Matt Rhule era in Carolina. Kickoff is set for 1 p.m., and you can catch all the action right here on WFMY News 2.
All All right, Sean, thank you. Before kickoff last night, the Kansas City Chiefs and Houston Texans both made statements about social justice. The Chiefs lined up along the goal line 30 minutes before the game. While videos played on screens in the end zone, they featured singer Alicia Keys performing Lift Every Voice and Sing. It's often known as the Black National Anthem. That song will be played every Week 1 game this season. The Texans went into their locker room as that video started playing, and during the national anthem, they said that was to bring awareness to the Black Lives Matter movement.
The NFL season is kicking off, but college football is still in limbo, which is why Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost says Ohio State University should sue the Big Ten Conference because the conference, or I should say, if the conference does not decide to reverse the decision to start the season. Now, the Attorney General claims that the university has the legal right to sue the conference, arguing a breach of contract. Now, he says there should be a balance between personal and financial consequences during a pandemic. The Big Ten Conference announced the cancellation of the season in August with the possibility to start in the spring. Big Ten Commissioner Kevin Warren cites medical risks as too high to have a football season. But Yost adds if the conferences allow schools to play, but universities cancel their own seasons, then the universities could also be sued. The Big Ten Conference has not commented on this lawsuit.
All right, let's hear your thoughts about this one. I asked you if you thought schools should take legal action against conferences that are not allowing fall sports. Nathan Snyder says it's all about the money, not about the safety and health of anyone. Bobby Odom said this is a very tough question, and I'm so close to saying yes, but I say no if they intend on having the fall sports in the spring. Then maybe they will have a vaccine by then and be able to have the fall sports with the stadiums filled to capacity. Greg Klein said, I do not think that they should sue. Legal action would take too long anyway. And then he goes on to say he thinks the election will take care of COVID-19. It's really interesting to think about this. I mean, what grounds do schools have to stand on? We know that football is the moneymaker for a lot of these schools, especially in the Big Ten.
Yeah. I think politicians want to score some political points. People know that they like football, right? I am actually a Big Ten fan, a Big Ten alum. My school, Penn State, is not playing. I love college football. I get the health risks. I think it's just a tough call, you know. And they made this call when it was looking much worse in those geographical areas, looking a little better now. It's just hard to say. These guys aren't employees either. The kids are students.
They're not getting paid to play.
And they don't really have a voice either. They're doing what the school says is going to happen. They could sit out, but you know, it's different with the pro sports. They're employees. They have unions. They can collectively bargain. It's just hard. Anyone who says it isn't hard, they're not telling you the truth. All these are hard decisions.
So I'm guessing you're hopeful for a spring Big Ten season.
I would love football if it's safe. Give me all my Penn State football. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself.
Now, you guys have said everything there needs to be said. Y'all are the football fans. I'm just here like Big Ten. Yes, that's a conference. Cool.
Tahisha, you don't give yourself enough credit.
I mean, I watch football, but just the idea of having a lawsuit being brought up because you can't play, I would like to hear what the players have to say about this conference, or about this lawsuit. Are they for it? Do you think it'll make a difference? I don't know.
Yeah, but you sue to get money, right? Or to get something repaid to you, and they're not getting any of that.
I am not a lawyer. Yeah. I am a football fan. I will tell you, part of the reason the Big Ten made that choice is there was a football player at Indiana that has gotten the virus and developed a heart condition. And that's what, in one day or two, they went from, we're going to have a season, here's the schedule, to, oh gosh, we're scared that this is a real big deal. And the heart condition, that's no joke. That's not something that goes away. So.
Right. We still don't know the long-term effects with this thing. So I think playing it safe is smart. I don't know.
We'll see what
so
happens.
Tricky.
We are just humble news anchors and weather folk. So we are not the authority, right? I am the authority with the weather. Do you want to hear about that?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about the weather. Hey, the weekend almost here. Your forecast still kind of muggy, a little wet here and there, but by and large, we've missed a lot of the showers across North Carolina this week. There are a couple scattered showers right now. The main feature is this cold front moving south across the state overnight tonight. Typically, you think cold front, okay, it's going to be cool and refreshing. Not the case this time. It will be cooler, but mostly because it's cloudier. So tomorrow's kind of a gray day, a little drizzly at times, especially for the morning. Temperature still muggy, but in the 70s rather than the 80s like today. So that's your Saturday. On Sunday, we'll get some sunshine back, getting up into the 80s, mainly a dry day again. This cold front by Tuesday, that is really going to make the big difference. So here's your weekend all in one snapshot. 75 tomorrow, 83 on Sunday. So take your pick, either the cool gray day or the sunny, hot and muggy day. That'll be what we have to deal with. The tropics are extremely busy right now. There are so many areas to watch. One in the Gulf of Mexico is new. That could be a new tropical depression in the next couple of days. Not an issue for us here. We are still watching Paulette, which will go toward Bermuda as a hurricane on Monday and Tuesday. But notice how it curves away from us. Do want to let you know if you're going to the beach this weekend or next week, and you know folks that are, make sure they're taking the rip current seriously. Those will be dangerous out there. Fall air. Come on, hurry up. It'll be here on Tuesday. We're back after this.
Greetings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
After a pause in Hollywood and beyond, movie and TV crews for some are back to work. Now, some sets are taking a page from what's happening in society right now. So I asked you on Facebook today if you would watch a new show or a movie where the characters are dealing with COVID-19. Now, I wrote that I don't really care to watch something like that. Melissa says, I love TV and movies, so I probably would, but way down the road in time when this dreaded ordeal will hopefully become a fleeting memory. Ryan Perdue says, I see that enough in my life every day anyway. That kind of show definitely doesn't appeal to me. Tamara says, absolutely not. I have to deal with this every day myself, much like Ryan. I don't want to see it on TV. I watch TV to get away from the real world. Michelle says, yes, curious to see the take on it. Alex says, I think it would depend on the plot. A group of friends must risk the outdoors in their quest to restock their dwindling toilet paper supplies. I'd watch. A tale of love in the age of social distancing. I think I would pass. I had to include that comment in there because I feel he has a point, right? It kind of depends on if it's a tongue-in-cheek kind of thing or finding love. I will say though, there is a show on TLC, Find Love Live, and it's these people that go on these quarantine dates live on TV, like a blind dating show. It is amazing. That's the only type of COVID-19 show I'll watch.
But wait a minute, wasn't that comment from your fiance?
Yes.
I love it. So supportive. I'm here for it. I would watch that show about finding love during a time of social distancing.
I think it would be hard, right? I don't know. I'm with the folks that say, I watch TV. I don't want to be stressed out. Real life stresses me out right now.
Right.
I don't want to see the masks. I don't want to. I just do the show. I like watching regular shows, but I will say sometimes I get jealous now. If they're at like a ball game, I'm like, I want to go. I want to do that.
I remember the first time I was watching a sitcom. I don't remember what it was, and they were in a big group and no one was wearing masks. I'm like, what are you doing? And I was like, time out. One, this is not real life, and two, this was long before we were dealing with any of this.
I just see people at a restaurant or like at a bar having a nice drink. It's like, oh my gosh, well, this is luxury. Like, we want to be living in this reality.
One day, folks.
Yeah. Not now.
Not now.
Okay. Not yet, folks, but the weekend is almost here. Regardless, you got to do the distancing and all that. You know that. You don't want to hear it from me. Partly cloudy, good amount of sunshine right now. Still summer-like, really. 86 is the current temperature, so that's only part of the story here. There's a ton of humidity. It is the air you can wear at this moment, and that really is something we will continue to follow into the weekend. The temperatures, that's how they look right now, mid and upper 80s. And with that all-present humidity, it's feeling like the 90s. So this is probably the last time we'll have to deal with stuff like this for a little while. Looking at the radar, only seeing a couple scattered showers for this evening, a good chance of some scattered rain or drizzle early tomorrow morning. But for the most part, it's kind of just a cloudy gray day of weather with temperatures hanging in the 70s. So it will not be as hot and sticky tomorrow, although it will still be humid. It won't be as warm. Mid 70s for lows overnight tonight and mid 70s for highs. We're kind of just hanging out in those 70s tomorrow. Best chance of rain would be in the morning with that drizzle as the main concern. For Sunday, sunshine comes back. It'll warm us up into the 80s. There's only an isolated storm here or there. You can go ahead with the weekend plans, but just know you might need a plan B for an hour or two here or there. Similar story for Monday, but the big change. It's Tuesday. We've talked about it every day. We'll keep that around. Fall weather next week.
Coming up on WFMY News 2 at 5 o'clock, some North Carolina bar owners have given Governor Roy Cooper an ultimatum. If he won't let them reopen, then they're going to do it without his permission. We are live in downtown Greensboro to see if any bar owners there plan to open their doors tonight. That's next on WFMY News 2 at 5.